There is no denying, Robin Mead knows golf. Her grandfather introduced her to the game when she was a child.
He said, "Have you ever thought about playing golf?" And I said, "Well, that's a dumb sport. I was into basketball and volleyball and softball."
By 16, she'd have a change of heart. Bitten by the golf bug, as she would say, Robin was already known among her classmates at Maine Endwell High School as a talented athlete when she decided to try out for the golf team, the boys' golf team. Back then, it was the only team.
I went to the coach and I said, "I really would like to play in the team. I know I'm good enough to play in the team." And he said, "Well, there's never been a girl that played in Southern Tier Athletic Conference golf before." I said, "Well, there's always a first time." And I convinced him, and he was forward-thinking enough, I guess, to say, "Okay, we'll give you a shot. We'll give you a chance."
She played on the women's golf team at William & Mary College, where she would receive her bachelor's, but not before attending Colby Sawyer College in New Hampshire.
Very early, women's collegiate golf was not as prominent a sport, and so she was involved. She was very highly ranked.
Her parents, Robert and Janet, never golfers themselves, were supportive of their daughter from the beginning and would often come to watch her play.
I'll never forget this. I was so embarrassed. At one point, I hit a shot from the fairway into a bunker, into a sand trap, and my parents started applauding because, they thought I'd hit a good shot, and I'm just like, "You've got to be kidding me, please."
She achieved success out of state and close to home. She was the first woman and just 25 years old when she played in the BC Open Pro-Am and was a multiple-time Endwell Greens women's champ.
But at that point in time, the people that I was competing against were all saying, "Maybe you should think about this a little more seriously."
Robin decided to make a go of it and play professionally.
I drove to California by myself, was living out of the trunk of my car pretty much. It was just a completely different experience than I'd certainly had at home. But this was what I needed to do, to try to move myself along. Found out very quickly that golf was a business. This was hopefully going to be my business, but it was really tough.
After having lived her passion, Robin was ready to enter the traditional job market. She was a secretary for the Raymond Corporation in Greene before going to work as administrator of her family's various real estate holdings and investments. Family has always been important to her.
And I always was supported and encouraged to be anything I wanted to be very confident in who I was and what I could do, to be very confident and encouraged to affect change.
And Robin has a special way of affecting change. Quietly, behind the scenes, willing to listen before voicing her own opinion.
Robin is a leader. She is bright. She knows how to bring groups together.
Her devotion to Binghamton University is deep and diverse, serving on boards from the Symphony and Binghamton Forum to the Athletic Council.
I want the university to continue to grow in its scope, in its scale, in its influence, because I believe that that is the future of our valley.
Robin also serves on the Board of Trustees at Colby Sawyer.
Her involvement in the university is really indicative of her commitment to this community.
Robin coupled her commitment to improving healthcare with her love for golf when she started the Women for Women golf tournament in the late 90s.
Betsy Petrick, who's the UHS Foundation Executive Director, she called me, 14 years ago and said, "I'm thinking about doing a women's golf event." And I immediately said yes, because a women's event was important to me. When she explained that the proceeds from the event were going to be used strictly for women's health care issues, most especially breast cancer, locally, how can you say no to that?
The first year, Robin said right before the event, "Well, Betsy, I certainly hope we're going to have mulligans." And I looked across the table and I said, "Well, is it a dark beer or a light beer?" And Robin knew right then and there she was going to have her hands full with me trying to teach me about golf.
The tournament has raised over $600,000, and over $4 million has been raised under Robin's leadership as chair of the UHS Foundation.
So, and the money goes to buying equipment that I use, equipment that you use, equipment that, you know, all of our friends use. So that's important to me.
Robin still loves to play golf. She enjoys spending time with family and will do anything for a friend. Lois DeFleur recalls nearly falling out of her raft while hitting some rough rapids on a trip to Salmon River, Idaho.
And I just felt this something like grabbing hold of my life jacket, and the next thing I know is on the bottom of the raft. So she always teases me about saving me from a fate. Who knows what it would have been.
She loves to travel, especially to Africa.
There's something about it that just was, I made an instant connection.
Robin Mead is truly a role model for young women everywhere. And in her own way, Robin continues to affect change in higher education, healthcare, and in athletics.
The very quiet power of trying to do something for somebody else is affirming, life affirming, and it changes you. I think it changes you for the better.